this is kind of off topic, but not exactly. But there was a tweet that you had tweeted, I don't know how long ago, maybe a month ago, that I really liked. It's kind of had to do with like this obsession against the new atheism, when in reality, like fundamentalism is like much bigger and much more dangerous. Do you want to kind of talk about your thoughts about that? I think we're going to be in agreement, but I thought that was a really interesting tweet.
So I think that a lot of people criticize the new atheists for things that, make sense. Like the new atheists were not, they in my view, they did not attempt to contribute to like analytic philosophy of religion. Mm-hmm. Okay, but some people seem to think that that's what they should have done, and the fact that they didn't do it means that they're stupid or something. And it's just like, I don't know. If you're reading a book written by a journalist called, Why Religion Poisons Everything, and you are expecting like a contribution to philosophy of religion, that's on you. Like, you're just confused about where you are and what's happening and what's going on around you, because that's clearly not an attempt to contribute to, like, philosophy of religion, like in the way that, like, Graham Oppy does. So I don't like a lot of criticisms of new atheists, but that doesn't mean that the things they say aren't true. So like Christians and atheists, like, if you look at the Real Atheology guys, they're like very critical of new atheists, and like everything they say is true. But I just don't like the constant beating up on the new atheists, because for one, I think that it misses the fact that they were primarily a social and cultural and political reaction against religion, especially religious fundamentalism.
Right.
So, like I said, social, political, cultural, that was kind of their realm. Okay, and from what I understand, things were different before new atheism was around. Like, it was just so much more acceptable to beat up on atheists and to be like just openly bigoted towards atheists. Like George H.W. Bush said that like atheists aren't Americans, and he suffered no consequences for that. Like he felt no pressure. He didn't have to, And it's just like I remember a friend of mine said that he used to say that he was an atheist in the 90s to open gasps in the room. Okay, so like that's never happened to me.
Right.
So I can't help but think that things are different, and they kind of accomplished what they set out to do. But they didn't contribute to the analytic philosophy of religion. So a lot of people like to beat up on them for that. And so I think it's kind of wrong-headed, and it's kind of exhausting, and it's I think that it ignores the fact, because they're treated like, oh, that's like the atheist fundamentalists, as if that is a thing that makes sense. But they're just like, the constant focus on the new atheists is ludicrous for more than the reasons I've just said. It's because they're just not that harmful. Like, it just doesn't really matter that the new atheists get like some things wrong. Like, yes, it is very annoying to deal with like new atheist types who don't know that much about philosophy and seem to think that like, they don't know, and they don't know that they don't know, and like, right. All we can do is try to bring them along a little bit, and it can happen, because I was that way too, like mm-hmm. it can happen. But my point, like you said in that tweet, I was just pointing out that religious fundamentalism is a little different from quote unquote atheist fundamentalism, where they're like, Christian fundamentalists are more numerous, for one, their beliefs are more harmful, and like they have more institutional support. Mm-hmm. So it's just like this like laser focus on like what Richard Dawkins gets wrong about philosophy, and acting like it's like, dude, half of the Christians in the U.S. think the Earth is 6,000 years old, and you're getting mad at Richard Dawkins for not giving a charitable reading of the ontological argument. Like, it's so imbalanced, where it's just like the crimes of new atheists and the crimes of like religious fundamentalists are not even close.
Right.
They're not even in the same universe, but like there's this like hyper focus like on the atheist side and on the Christian side about like what new atheists did wrong. And I just think not enough focus on the reactionary political beliefs of many Christians in the U.S., the majority of Christians actually, the harm that they've done to science education, the harm that they've done to children, frankly. Like, there's so much more harm coming from the crazy religious side than the crazy atheist side. So I just don't like when people act like, well, there's Christian fundamentalists and there's atheist fundamentalists. Like, no, there's a total false equivalency.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to be, willing to criticize your own side, but that's the difference. Is like, occasionally I'll throw a jab at atheists, like on my Twitter, or like I'll make a blog about, what I wish atheists would be better about. But proportionally, I don't. It's not like half and half, because my main target again is normally religious fundamentalism, in one form or another, or what I take to be religious fundamentalism. But even though I'm, like I said, I like you have said, like it's good to show that you're willing to like acknowledge when your side gets things wrong, but that doesn't mean that there should be a 50-50 like attack. Like it doesn't mean that like every other, like on this tweet I'm criticizing the new atheists, and on this one I'm criticizing religious fundamentalism, and I go back and forth. Like that doesn't make any sense when you consider the proportion of what we're talking about. So no, I think that's kind of a pet peeve of mine as well. Definitely. But
also, I really hate when people are unwilling to criticize their own side. Like, I do have complaints about other atheists, and I don't really make them secret. Like, I do want to criticize my own side, and, like, there are some people who, I mean, I know that Twitter is, like, a cesspool, but, like, people who I see on Twitter sometimes, it's just, like, I mean, it's just, like, appalling, and, like, I can understand how you could get wrapped up in just criticizing other atheists. But yeah, everyone could just stand to be more charitable to the other side, I guess. Like, like Relay Theology just recently got in a bunch of trouble because they were being too charitable to theists, and people thought they were like crypto theists or something. Like they're all going to like convert and write a book or something. And it's just like you pay a price if you're like even remotely nice or charitable to the other side, and like I hate that as well. But I don't want that to distract from the fact that Christian fundamentalists are so much more harmful and numerous than, like the most irritating new atheist types.